some people say that doing these interest rate deductions really only makes college more expensive in the long run because it takes the pressure off of institutions of higher education to actually make themselves more affordable. When there's relatively cheap credit available, it doesn't put any pressure on the education providers to try and control costs. If you heard that argument, do you have any response?
Well, I haven't heard that specific argument, but I do know that institutions of higher education are struggling specifically with cuts that they are seeing. As you may know, that in the latest budget, higher education and SSI was cut, and as a result, there are institutions of higher education having to make very difficult decisions about tuition. There's a lot of pressures. I don't think that there's going to be any correlation here, and unfortunately, this is going to hit the pocketbooks of students and families. I mean, you can't argue that at all. This is going to hit the pocketbooks of students and families, and so I don't think that that's a credible pushback. There is certainly a debate going on about the tuition and trying to keep it down, but there are other factors going on there, specifically state cuts that are causing institutions to make very hard decisions.
May I just add to that? I mean, I think everybody understands that, yeah, colleges have to do a little better job of keeping their costs down and not just simply escalating them every year. But in a sense, this is not something that Congress can control. What Congress can control at this point is what interest rate is going to be paid on these student loans. And allowing those rates to increase now, when jobs are hard to find, number one, and second, when schools are cutting back on other types of financial aid, is going to be a triple whammy, basically, on these students. And I think it could be further argued that at a time when banks are paying almost nothing on deposits, right, and mortgages can be had for 4%, it makes absolutely no sense to charge students 6.8% to borrow money to go to college, particularly since it's in the national interest that we have as educated a workforce as possible.